Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Sick Podcast, Recruits Draftcast. It's our Sunday Habs edition following a weird loss to the New York Islanders, 4-3 in shootouts. An exciting game, but you know what? We got better things to talk about today. We're going to focus on not one, not two, not even three, 4 Habs prospects. We're going to give you our Insta Customs Habs prospect of the week. And we're going to follow up on our story from Friday's show involving top 2025 Russian prospect Ivan Rabkin. So let's get to it.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. Recruits Draftcast.
With our first pick in the 2022 NHL Draft, les Canadiens de Montréal sont fiers de repêcher from the Slovakian national team and TPS Turku, Yuri Slafkovsky.
The sickest NHL draft and scouting podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Producer Shane here, joined as always by the wonderful and handyman Grant McCagg. Grant, how's the fence going?
I'm on the back end, so almost got her closed in, but halfway done. So it's supposed to be beautiful again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'd like to be out playing in the leaves or whatever, but I guess I'll be out enjoying the sunshine anyways, but in a different kind of way, getting the fence finished. So working on that, and it's been, can't complain with the weather. It's been perfect. So a lot better than doing it in the cold November rain, as they call it there.
Yeah.
The game last night, it was funny. Slav didn't get to shoot till like the 8th round. I'm wondering if there's something wrong with his. He's not been taking a lot of shots and stuff too. I know he's been banged up a bit, and that might. Just a little curious that he didn't get to shoot till about the 7th or 8th round, because he scored a great shootout winner last year.
I remember that. It was in Buffalo, right?
So you know that he can do it, and I'm sure he's done it in practice, but just makes you think that maybe he's there's something upper body that's bugging him right now a little bit, because he hasn't looked, I don't know.
Yeah.
Even though he's got a point per game so far, he hasn't looked 100%,
Exactly. We know what he can be, right? And this year we're all expecting another step in his development, but again, 6 games into the season, that'll come. Not too worried. And he's got the points, right? Last season, remember, to start off the year, goose egg, nothing, right? It was nothing was happening, and now he's a point per game guy. So really can't
pretty
be
cool when he's when he's not playing up to his potential and he's a point per game. So can't be too upset about that, I guess. And nice to see Logan snipe his first one there.
Oh my
what a
God.
shot, eh?
Yeah, that thing had eyes, man.
He can. He's got a wicked wrister, and he followed up on the play nicely and took a nice. That was a goal scorer's goal. He's going to score more than a few in the NHL. That's not the last one, that's for sure. It's nice to see him. Get the call up and score. So he's one up on Cole there now. So right. Or Cole Frig. Lane, but not Cole Coffey. Cole
same height.
5 up on him. So but nice to see Cole averaging a goal a game too. So I mean, there's some, they've got 1 point in their last 3 or 4, but there's still some nice stories there, and
exactly.
Hopefully they can start reeling off a few wins.
And we'll give some love to 2 other rookies on the Habs, that being Oliver Kapanen and Emil Heineman, who both scored in the shootouts. I thought they both had a really good game overall, shootout aside. But I think, at this point, they're NHL guys, right? You can't really justify sending them down, or they belong in the lineup, right?
Yeah. And, Barre Boulet, though, I don't know. He's saying, call me back up, coach. He's looked really good with Roy. That's a nice combo. Laval looks like they're for real. I like the structure already. It looks like they a lot more structure than maybe at times in the past, and they look like they're playing a good system. Good, because they deserve to win. They easily outplayed Syracuse on the weekend and deserved to sweep them, and they did. And even with Logan getting called up and that, they didn't miss a beat. Right, Lindstrom comes in, and well, he's a bubble NHLer as it is. Like, he's a really good AHL level player. So I liked what Sedgwick, since he took over as GM, maybe a bit of a bumpy start last year when he got Perreault and a couple of those deals. I would have liked to have kept Mishak and not made that deal and stuff. But this summer, he did a really stand up. All of the additions that they made in Laval look good. I like
shutout.
Well, that's right. And I mean, I don't know. Like, obviously, Kent has some input on these signings too. But between the two of them, picking up like even Jandrik, extra guy. He's a decent defenseman, but Zach Hayes looks good. Josh Jacobs looks good. Witherspoon is really solid.
Yeah,
and
he's got an A already. Like, he's a leader in the locker room.
Oh no, he was a great addition. But even the guys that I didn't really expect to be in the lineup look good. And then Lindstrom was a great addition, of course. So they're really rock solid on the back end. They really compensated for the loss of Reinbacher, and they'll be fine on the back end. But yeah, Laval looks really strong, and we could have featured Joshua Waugh or Barry Boulay, if you want to consider him a prospect still, as a prospect of the week too, because Waugh looks like he's getting the hit that, okay, I got to step it up, and I've been a little asleep at the start of the start of the season, but he looked awesome last night, or sorry, 2 nights ago, especially.
And Owen Beck scored his first professional goal.
Yeah, he's been really good. Hasn't got a lot of points, and Michard too. Seems like Michard, I think, is sometimes there's players that are better at the pro level than they are at junior. It's just, and in his draft year, he played Slovakian Pro League, right? Men's league. And he was good. He was very good. And, was inconsistent in junior, but then really good at his first camp, right, in Montreal. And there was even thoughts that he might play in. Well, and looked good in Laval. And now he looks better in Laval than he did in junior so far. So it's just, you never can tell. Like, some people wrote him off, and he was 19, 20 years of age. And of course, we don't do that. You give them 3, 4, 5, 6 years, depending. And he's already starting. Like, the last couple of games I watched him, and I said, okay, now he looks like he could have been a first round pick, right?
Yeah.
Now you say, okay, late 20s or whatever. I've seen worse. Like he could end up being a good pick for them. We'll see. He certainly has NHL speed, edges, playmaking ability. All of those are there. The other parts of his game come together, and he'll have an NHL career if everything comes together. So, certainly not giving up on him either. But Beck looks like a pro. It's just a matter. Beck's a pro, and NHL. It's just a matter of time, and maybe one more year. Dvorak, probably be gone this year, I would think, and maybe Evans in a year or two. There'll be spots opening up anyways, and and they'll be in the running, and Kapanen, Michael Hage isn't too far away. Center's really shaping up nicely.
Yeah. Koivu's there too. I mean, like the list goes on. So Florian Jacki can play center. Like there's
Florian can
abundance
be
of
the
riches.
fourth line, center perhaps. I could see him and Tuck being wingers with, I don't know, Becker, Kapanen on the fourth line someday. That'd be one of the best, might potentially be one of the best fourth lines in the league, down the road. So, because like really, you think of Hage, Suzuki, Kapanen, Beck. Do you see Jacki being ahead of any of those guys?
No,
probably not. And that's not even mentioning Doc or Newhook. So Jacki may, to get to the NHL, it might end up being as a power winger, which
makes
is
sense.
fine.
Yeah,
we'll see. The more centers, the better.
Exactly.
Hopefully, a few of them can win some faceoffs.
Oh my god, yeah. But as you know, Habs fans, we're not exactly used to having an abundance of centers. It seems like for years now, it's been the main concern. Like, oh, no centers, no centers, and now look at that.
Well,
look at that. So we'll take it.
I'm old enough to remember when David Desharnais was a first line center.
So am I. That Anyways, love the guy, but that
makes one of us.
Moving on.
I liked David Desharnais, but as a person, that love affair that Michel Therrien had with him just drove me crazy. Yeah.
Luckily, he's no longer here. So, Grant, before we get into our prospects that we want to discuss here, we felt it was important to follow up a bit on our discussion from Friday's show about Ivan Rabkin. Now, I mentioned that the Muskegon Lumberjacks in the USHL had announced that they were signing him somehow, buying out his contract with Dynamo. We didn't really know the specifics of the situation, but they'd announced that he was coming over and playing for them. They didn't give a timeline. They didn't give much more details about it. Now, you did some digging and you got some good contacts, and you may have some more intel on the situation. So I'll let you get into that.
Yeah. Well, did you check Twitter? Like, I've been fencing all day, so I haven't had a chance to check social media, but did you?
Nothing new.
Did you see any updates? Okay. Well, what I heard was that, like, it sounds like Muskegon could be pawns in the whole situation, that Rabkin's using them. What my friend said, who is, he's, just put it this way, he's connected to NHL. We'll put it that way. Yeah. He said, it sounds like the kid is trouble. That he's upset that he's not in the KHL. So he's using Muskegon as a pawn to maybe get loaned to another team in Russia. So don't be surprised if he doesn't end up coming over, because that might be what, get Muskegon thinking, making this announcement, and then then Dynamo Moscow think, we got to trade him, or kind of using them as a pawn, right? So I don't know, that's what he hears. So I'm not saying that that's for sure what he's doing, but if he is, then that's why he's saying, like, the kid is trouble, it sounds like, because that's not that's sort of a shady. The kid's 17 years old, and he's not.
Yeah,
he could still learn things in junior. Like, if Demidov could play all last year in junior, this kid's not half as skilled as Demidov. He's not. He's hard-nosed, two-way, big center with lots of potential, but skill-wise, he's not in Demidov's or Michkov's league. He's not that dynamic. He's a nice prospect, but for him to thinking, I should be in the KHL. Well, Dynamo Moscow's got a good team, and it's his draft year. Like, no, you know, you pay your dues and you put up good stats in the MHL, you get drafted high and you come over when your contract's up. But anyway, that's a pretty good source. And I think because we haven't heard any more about it, and now that you hear that it's muddy, the situation's muddy, that then there is something going on behind the scenes. And that would add up to why he, you know, why since the announcement, nothing else. It's kind of you hear it's 50-50 now. Well, I think that's why, because he's probably using Muskegon as a way to get out of the organization he's with, to play on who knows, maybe a Sochi or something where they would, just like they had a spot for each guy the last 2 years, then they'd have a spot for him. But
wow.
That's Russian hockey. You never know. You only get so much information, right? And it's not always bang on what's actually happening. So that's where we're at with that.
They got a whole soap opera over there. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. That's a really weird situation, start to finish. You know, I don't know how NHL scouts are seeing this. And you're saying that he's trouble, right? He's forcing his way.
Sounds like he's trouble. It sounds like it says the kid is trouble. It sounds like, which, you know, again, that's not confirmed. It's Russia, so you're going to hear 5 different stories, right? But that is plausible, and I wouldn't doubt that that's what's going on. But that's not going to help his draft stock if that's the case too.
No.
And scouts will, you know, teams will dig into his background as much as they can. And if that's the rumor, you know, there's scouts that know about this and teams that know about it, and that won't help his draft stock if that's the case. Because who's to say 3 years down the road, you know, NHL club, he's not getting a lot of ice time. I'll go back to Russia and play in the KHL, right?
Exactly.
Sounds like he might be a prime, kind of a little selfish. So it's funny, he doesn't play that way on the ice. So if that is the case, it's a little surprising, because usually a hard-nosed player has decent character as well, but that's not always the case. And, you know, that's just the way it is. So,
well, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but here we are, and we're going to report on it whenever there are developments in the situation. We're going to talk about it, but we'll get back to the Habs here because Rabkin has not been drafted yet. So we'll stick in Russia for now, because the Habs did draft a Russian forward last draft by the name of Ivan Demidov, and geez, we talk about him just about every week, but there's always something happening, right? And this week's no different. There's so his coach, if you want to call him that, Roman Rothenberg, you know, he's not exactly welcomed, maybe not welcome, but you know, Montreal isn't exactly his biggest fan. He's come under a lot of pressure and scrutiny for Demidov's ice time and usage. Doesn't get any power play, right? The leash is very short with him, even though he's producing with the short amount of ice time he does get. He generates offense. He scores a nice goal, sets up an assist. And then last game, Grant, you spotted this where he made a pass, a bad pass, right? And then didn't get a shift afterwards. There, we have the pass here, and I'll let you comment on the situation.
Yeah. Well, he gets the puck here, and it's a no-look soft pass, and they got a decent chance. I like how he came back on it, you know, but they didn't score. And he was +2 at that time. Had a great game the game before, so that's one mistake, right? Now you make one. You're an 18-year-old playing in the KHL, and you make one mistake. Can you not like tell a kid, okay, don't do that again, and then throw him back out there again? No, every player on that team makes that same mistake at some point during the season. Do they all get benched? None of them get benched. But again, it seems like, and it happened again, like a few games back. One mistake, and he rode the pine the rest of the game. Was in the stands. Was the substitute? Was the extra forward for a game? Was on the fourth line for 3 games. Gets back up on the top line, or on the third line with Kuznetsov. Has a whale of a game. Has a good start to this game. Has an assist. Ended the game. He was the only forward on the team +2. And the guy who replaced him ended the game -1 and played the rest of his shifts. Soon after he replaced Demidov, their line was on for a goal against. Who got benched? No, Demidov had to keep. Demidov's fault that the line that he was on before was on the ice for a goal against while he was sitting on the bench. Apparently that was his fault too. So yeah, it's a bit, really, like, it's so obvious what he's doing, right?
It's petty.
And so good to hear that the Canadians announced that they're going to, they're heading over. Apparently Hughes is heading over to.
He's going.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I did. Elliot Friedman came out with it yesterday saying that there's people, staff from the Habs organization going to visit Demidov in Russia. I wasn't aware who was going. That's wow.
He said it. Oh, you didn't hear it on Elliot on the intermission show? You just read it in the 32 Thoughts or something? Because I know he mentioned it he mentioned Kent Hughes in particular, that they expect that Hughes will be going to see him. I would imagine Bobrov will be the attaché. He'll be the it's probably through him, right? And his dad. But as I tweeted out last night, like, I don't know where Peter, the car that they smuggled Peter Svoboda, like Serge Savard smuggled him across the border there when they drafted him 4th overall. Maybe find that, if they get a picture of Kent Hughes and Bobrov driving around in Svoboda's old car, hopefully the trunk's empty and they can find a spot for Ivan before they skedaddle back across the Belarusian border, or however they leave. But anyway, it'd be nice, if they could, if it was like the old days and they could just smuggle them out in the big suitcase
to get out of there. It's getting stupid. Like we heard reports that he declined 3 contracts with SKA. Like SKA offered him a new contract extension 3 times and he declined all of them. So it's obvious that he's getting benched out of spite, right? It's pettiness. The coach is childish. And whenever he's confronted about it, through the media, he folds. He just gives you the weirdest answers ever. Makes no sense. It's clear as day. He's not even trying to hide it. Like, that poor kid. Right? It's that poor kid is his talent is coming at his detriment at this point, because he's so good that he's gonna graduate. He's gonna go to the better league next year, and now his coach is like, "Well, you're not gonna be with us. You're not gonna play." That's just beyond stupid. And the team has suffered from that. Like, he's one of, if not the best offensive player on the team, and you're benching him.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's politics mostly. Like, you notice that most KHL teams have a number of foreign players, and the exception being D'Angelo, because whatever. We'll get one foreigner with bad character, so that's the guy we want. But everybody else on the team is Russian. Mm-hmm. Like, I think with the Putin connections and all that stuff that we've been through, Rottenberg is very nationalistic, right? And the fact that this phenom that he has on his hands doesn't want to stick around and wants to come over to North America to play is burning him pretty bad. So, all these guys that go to North America and then come back, that's great that he loves those guys. He plays them, sticks letters on them no matter what they did in North America. In fact, if they did bad things, it's almost like, oh, I got to have you, like
Exactly.
Chucky, like after what Chucky did with the, the impaired and for threatening the cop. And it was just, we need that guy. That's the guy we need. And and it was the same with Voinov after what he did. Oh, we got to get him, You can do whatever you want over in North America. As long as you come back to the motherland, we'll roll the red carpet out for you. But if you want to leave, you're going to suffer. So it's the way it is. But, it's only 5 months now we got to wait, 5.5.
Yeah.
So
it's coming.
And I think it's a good thing that they're going to get to talk to him, tell him, be patient. You're going to be with us soon. Just keep working hard and we'll have a spot for you when your season's over and you can come over and play, and it'll be good. Have a chat with them. I think it's a good that they at least SK has agreed to this, and that they're not completely shutting off the Canadians. So it's I don't think the Flyers had any contact whatsoever with Michkov until like the off season, right, last year. And then it was okay, just bring him over, get the contract bought out and get him here. But it's nice that Canadians are going to at least be able to communicate with him.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, they have to. It's getting bad, and there's no sign of him getting loaned or sent to the VHL or anything. Like, he's apparently stuck there. So they got to check up on their number one prospect, because he is integral to the future of this franchise. Like, that's no understatement there.
They are a good team, and I'm sure practices are good, and he's learning things, and he's when he is playing, he's playing 12, 13 minutes with Kuznetsov, and he's playing well. So he's still developing. It's not like it's a complete write-off. It's just frustrating that you see the politics involved in it, but he's still, it's not harming him, I don't think, in any way. And the Canadians just going over to chat with him, because they probably could see that, they're obviously like us, watching the games and keeping tabs on him, and know that he's probably a little frustrated. So it'll be good to get their reassurances, I think.
Absolutely. All right, on to more positive things. It's time for our Insta Customs Habs Prospect of the Week.
Insta Customs Habs Prospect of the Week.
And of course, the Insta Customs Habs Prospect of the Week is brought to you by Insta Customs. All right, Insta Customs is Canada's highest rated custom apparel and drinkware print shop, boasting an impressive 4.9 Google star rating. All right, so whether you need printed or embroidered t-shirts, hoodies, crew necks, hats, and more, they got you covered. They specialize in emergency rush orders to meet your tight deadlines. While their store is conveniently located on Stanley Street, downtown Montreal, ordering online is so easy. All right, order today, printed today, pick up or ship today. So visit them at instacustoms.com. Grant, we have not featured this young man yet, but he has been on the show. Friend of Owen Protz is our Insta Customs Habs Prospect of the Week. He had himself a heck of a game. Let's have a look.
Yeah, well, a heck of a week. He had a goal and 3 assists, 3 games. So, yeah, there's his goal. Thank you very much. Snuck through.
We'll take that.
Wasn't a rocket or anything. I don't think he's going to be a 20-goal scorer in the NHL, but he and here he's a smart young lad too. I'll just hand the puck to Lardis and let him go
easy.
let him go end to end and pick up an assist, right? But that was a game winner. And here he is keeping the puck in. Nice play, gets it over. Boom. These were all big goals or big points, so it's nice to see him. Look at the shift here. It looks like he comes back. I think he almost falls here. Rings her back and wheels her out. So nice outlet pass that ends up with his fourth point here. So, and here's a hit just thrown in for good measure. But I decided to add to this were some of his crunches so far this season. He walks the line, right? Boom.
Oh,
that might have been his nicest. He hits a bit like PK sometimes.
yeah.
But you see how strong he is, eh? Then another guy goes to hit him and he knocks him down too. So the old double Dion, as
Solid.
Pierre used to call it. Here's another good knocks down his own player and the other guy. So I love the physical part of his game. He's so strong. You can see there, like he connects with a guy and hits him back like 3 or 4 feet, and even sometimes when he only gets an arm out, he knocks the guy back. Like he's a bit like Struble in that sense. You can just tell how strong a kid he is.
Right.
There was a nice follow through too. What do you think of the hits?
Oh man, like we talked about it with him when he was on the show, right? But the timing is what's so impressive,
Yes.
right? For people who aren't on the ice, don't really know what the details that go into hitting. There's a technique. There's an art to it, right? And the timing is key, and he's got that nailed down. It's very impressive.
Yeah. Well, you played defense, right? I know.
I did.
And
so I love this even more. I love it even more.
How many times did you try to lay the big hit and it,
I was a big fan of clearing the front of the net. That was that was my bread and butter. I loved those sneaky little hits in the back there. But I was not an open ice hitter whatsoever. That was not my strong suit. So seeing that, I applaud him. It's very impressive.
Well, I was an open ice hitter, but it was like as long as it was dead on,
Yeah.
Like when I was going forward, not defense, I was a forward, right? So get that guy with his head down, and I love plowing those guys. But nowadays, you get 5 in a game if you
get thrown out.
Do that. But anyway, but yeah, when I did play defense, like it's the lateral movement, right? It's getting over. It's making sure that you get a piece of him, or he's by you, and the coach is pulling a Rottenberg on you and sitting you on the end of the bench, right? So it exactly what when you say it's about timing, it has so much to do with it, and he's one of the best. Scott Stevens, like in a lot of ways when it comes to his hitting, like he reminds me kind of the same build size. As Stevens, and a similar type of hitter. Have Stevens's offensive, all around puck game that maybe Stevens had too. But hey, any time you can kind of compare him to a Hall of Famer throwback guy, you've got a player. He's going to be fun at the pro level. I think Struble too, and like Meshar, who we mentioned earlier, like Struble's is an example of a guy that's better as a pro than he was as a college player. More suited to that game. I think Protz, you'll find in the AHL, he will prosper in that type of environment when he's ready to turn pro. So I'm looking forward to another promising young defenseman being in the system down the road. You mentioned that. I mean, the list goes on. So yeah,
Owen Protz, our Insta Customs Habs prospect of the week, well deserving of that title. However, there were two more Habs prospects that we've featured, I think, every show so far that had great weeks again. We'll start with Jacob Fowler because that's 2 shutouts in 3 games. Let's have a look at that.
Yeah, when you get shutouts in 67% of your, 66.66% of your games, that's not bad.
Not bad.
This was against American International College. They're not a powerhouse by any means, but I do believe, there was a time, if I recall correctly, they beat Paling and St. Cloud in the big upset. I think it was, but they're not great. So they didn't have a pile of great chances here. And I think he had 19 shots in total, but here I think I have 14 of them. But you can just tell, like, there's an example where he doesn't give up many rebounds. And when he does, he steers them to the corner. There's no juicy rebounds with him. His technique is very good. He gets down. You just can't beat him low. He's got great pads. He stretches out in the butterfly and times it really well. You talk about timing with hitting. There's a timing with going down in the butterfly too, where he's just a natural. Maybe he's not the most athletic guy or whatever, even though I think that gets overrated. I think he's more athletic than the scouts thought in his draft year. He's just a natural puck stopper, and you can't, sometimes you can't really define it or explain it. It's just the kid is a goalie, and he's going to be a great one, and he stops pucks, and we know how competitive he is, how smart he is. You add that with just his natural ability to be a great goaltender. It's just innate. You can't always explain it. Like Tim Thomas wasn't the most athletic guy or, athletic body, but could he stop pucks? Dominik Hasek, was his technique,
unconventional.
Do you teach people how to know? But he had it, right? So Jacob Fowler has it, and he's going to be a very good NHL goalie someday.
Yep, definitely worthy of an honorable mention again this week. Who knows? Maybe it's going to be 3 and 4, 3 and 4. Anyways, next up, we're going to stick in the NCAA. You know what's coming? It's Michael Hage because he scored a beauty. Oh, let's have a look at this one.
Yeah, he's got soft hands, doesn't he?
On this guy.
Yeah. Well, we saw it in development camp, but the edges too. What a skater. And then, whoop, that's worth seeing again. Can we?
Oh, you bet. We're rewatching that one.
But
I've had this thing on loop for hours now.
Yeah, right here.
Oh.
Just the edges, eh? And then how he spread his legs there, right, to protect the puck, and then wheeled it to the backhand. And it's one thing too to go to your backhand, but then to also, not put it straight, to put it going the way that you're going, and then to hit the corner at the same time. Like he's got great hands in close, and you combine that with his speed and his edges, his agility, his smarts. His offensive skills are very, very impressive. And we keep watching Doc and Newhook not being able to take faceoffs there, and you think, I wonder who could center the second line someday if those guys just never do develop. If it's not Kapanen or Beck, or who could it be? Well, that he's not far away. You can see he's got NHL skill already. It's just he might go 2 years in Michigan, maybe, because I think he's got to get stronger.
Mhm.
But if he puts up a kind of he keeps scoring a goal pretty much every game and has 30 goals plus, you might see, has a good offseason, blah, blah, blah. He'd be ready for the AHL next year. So it'd be interesting to see if he stays 2 years or not. Typically, a lot of first-round picks, if you're top 10, you stay 1 year. If you're outside of the top 20, you stay 2. 20 to 40, you stay 2. If you're drafted after that, you stay 3, etc. But there's no it'll all depend on how good he is and how the team feels, how he feels after 1 year. But it'll be 1 or 2 years of college for Hage, and then he'll be a pro.
Absolutely. It's a matter of time. I mean, this guy's got it. He's got it, and he wants it. Clearly, you can tell he's going to be a special player. 7 points in 5 games so far. First season in the NCAA. It's remarkable stuff. He leads his team in points right now. Yeah, big time. Michael Hage, Jacob Fowler are our honorable mentions. That about do it for this week, Grant. Lots of good stuff coming from the Habs prospects. Even the young guys playing for the Habs are doing good things as well. So it's encouraging for the future. We're going to be back again Friday for our usual, discussion. And Friday, we might actually have a special surprise. Do you want to reveal or tease what that could be, Grant?
Yeah, I think I'm going to put out a top 32, my first genuine top 32 of the year. Get a roll in there. I'm going to, as soon as I get this fence done, I'm going to be reviewing a lot of tape, talk to some scouts, get a list together, get 32, maybe even 40 names, and put out my preliminary draft rankings for 2025.
That's going to be a fun
now
show.
I'm committed.
It's going to be a fun
I
show.
said it, so now I'm committed.
Yeah, that's it. You're tied to it now. Oh, I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited. And I hope you guys are as well. I hope you tune in on Friday for that. Grant's first top 32 of the 2025 draft class. I can't wait. This draft class is very exciting. And the top 10 is interchangeable at this point. You can make arguments for just about anybody. So
Malcolm Spence had a goal and 2 assists the other night. On the weekend, he's starting to heat up.
Yeah,
like that group of Canadian forwards there. It's going to be fun trying to get Desnoyers back. Mm-hmm. He's got 10 points in 6 games. So all of those Canadian forwards are just, okay, I want to be top 3. No, I want to be top 3. No, I want to be top 3. I love it. So I love it too. It's going to be fun. Just stay tuned.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you all for tuning in. We hope you like the show. Leave us a comment, leave us a like. We do appreciate the support. If you're not subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. It's absolutely free. Absolutely free, and it does truly help. So for Grant McCagg, I am producer Shane. This has been another edition of the Sick Podcast Recruits Draftcast. Until next time, take care, everyone.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Recruits Draftcast on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.